Ladies and gentlemen, good day. It is my pleasure to welcome you to the GECF meeting as we prepare for the fifth session of the Intergovernmental Negotiating Committee to develop an international legally binding instrument on plastic pollution, including in the marine environment. This fifth and potentially final session will take place from 25th November to 1st December 2024 in Busan, Republic of Korea. At the outset, I would like to extend my gratitude to our esteemed speakers for their time, effort, and valuable insight, which they will share with us today. We are fortunate to be joined by such high-caliber expertise, and I thank all participants for being here with us. The objective of today's meeting is to foster dialogue, exchange views, and deepen our understanding of the ILB's key issues, particularly as they pertain to our member countries. The upcoming fifth session of the INC marks a defining moment in the three-year negotiation process that began in 2022. The decisions made in Busan will not only shape the future of global plastic pollution management, but also bear significant implications for the economic landscape, particularly for industries linked to hydrocarbons. As you know, the UNEP Secretariat released the latest draft of the ILB on 9th July, following the fourth INC meeting. This draft outlines the treaty's broad framework, but much of the text, as you know, remains bracketed, indicating that the key provisions are still under discussion. This phase presents a unique opportunity for our voices to be heard and our priorities incorporated into the final agreement. Among the provisions, the draft ILB includes measures for international cooperation, funding mechanisms, and technology transfer to support developing countries in addressing plastic pollution. However, as we approach the finalization of the ILB, a critical issue remains in defining the scope of plastics life cycle and whether the treaty will address upstream, midstream, or downstream activities. Any upstream restrictions could impact natural gas demand as a key feedstock in plastic production, potentially posing substantial commitments for our member countries. As you know, globally, natural gas is primarily used as an energy source. Yet its non-energy applications, particularly in plastics manufacturing, are also crucial. This enables gas exporting countries to enhance the value of their natural gas resources by producing petrochemicals such as plastics, which contribute to economic diversification and sustainable growth. Such value-added production generates higher revenue streams and reduces reliance on exports that are vulnerable to market volatility. Therefore, balancing environmental priorities with economic considerations is essential as gas exporting countries engage in shaping this new treaty. Ladies and gentlemen, as countries deliberate on their ILB's legal framework, it is useful to reflect on lessons from the United Nations Framework Convention on Climate Change, the UNFCCC. The principles of equity and common but differentiated responsibilities and respective capabilities are foundational to the UNFCCC and hold relevance here. Furthermore, the UNFCCC recognizes in its preamble that socio-economic development and poverty eradication are the overriding priorities for developing countries. A bottom-up approach, inspired by nationally determined contributions model of the Paris Agreement, empowers countries to establish voluntary commitments tailored to their unique circumstances, priorities, and capacities. This flexibility supports the development of actionable, locally relevant plans, avoiding one-size-fits-all targets that may misalign with national contexts and hinder effective implementation. A key component of the ILB should be the means of implementation in the benefit of developing countries, including robust provisions for financial resources, technology transfer, and capacity building. Moreover, an inclusive approach to decision-making, modeled on the consensus-based provisions in the UNFCCC and the Paris Agreement, will be vital. This method encourages open dialogue and flexibility, fostering agreements that respect diverse national priorities. Consensus-driven decision-making is crucial for achieving fair, equitable, and inclusive outcomes that address shared goals while accommodating each country's specific needs. Voting mechanisms, in contrast, can undermine principles of equity and inclusivity, potentially leading to one-size-fits-all decisions that may not serve all nations' interests in complex issues like plastic pollution. Ladies and gentlemen, we stand at a unique juncture to contribute to the ILB's scope, structure, and governance meaningfully. Let us leverage our collective insights, expertise, and determination to ensure that the interests of gas-exporting countries are well represented and thoughtfully addressed. Together, we can guide this dialogue toward a balanced, inclusive, and sustainable outcome that leaves no one behind. Thank you once again for your commitment, and I wish you a productive and insightful meeting. Thank you very much.